You want me to go get it?
Good afternoon to the March 23rd edition of the Rotary Club. It's great to have all of you here today. You know, just before I came to the meeting today, I had gone to my chiropractor, and I'd gone in there for an adjustment, and the assistant was working with me, and she wanted to know if I was having a good day. And I said, yes, I've been having a pretty good day. And she said, well, you look sort of dressed up. Where are you going? And I said, well, I'm getting ready to go to of Thailand. And as modest and humble as I happen to be the president of the club this year. And she said, well, what's Rotary all about? And you'll probably never believe it, but I said, well, Rotary is about having core values of friendship and leadership and integrity and diversity and service. She said, well, those are good values. What's sort of your mission? I mean, she was just feeding right into my hand. And I said, well, we're all about providing service, and we're about promoting integrity, and we're also about advancing world understanding, peace, and goodwill. She said, that's a great organization. I said, well, that's exactly what I think too. I said, we're getting ready to have a meeting, a banquet that's going to be honoring 42 different schools and the students and parents from that. And she said, 42 schools, there's that many in Smith County, different ones? I said, yes, there is. I checked with Robert Wells just before I came in. And I know he's been saying that number, but I just wanted to make sure. But anyway, it just really fit in. Maybe you could have conversations with people that you know and be able to let them know a little bit more about Rotary. Also, one other factoid that is interesting, in 1931, the Rotary gear that we have here was put on a commemorative stamp in 1931, about the same time as the Vienna Convention was going on. So we've gotten that kind of recognition from the USPS. Now, let us take out our phones, take a selfie, take a picture of something, and post it to Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever it is you do, Instagram, and we'll be back again in just a second.
Look, let me get way out here. Is everybody in there? Wait, there we go. Yes, thank you.
Okay, put up your phones or put them on airplane mode or put it to silence or turn it off. Now we'll continue with our program with Greg Polka, who is coming here for the pledge and the national anthem.
If you could please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail? Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, would so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Greg. We have Dixie Walker now for our invocation and introductions.
Okay, let's be honest. Who gets choked up during the national anthem? If you would, y'all can be seated if you would like. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us here safely today. Thank you for the purpose of our club, and we pray that you will give us strength and as we go about our day and our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, now you can be seated. Sorry, I always get that.
We're used to it.
But you know what? Y'all grown men and women, you can do what you want.
Good to see you, sir.
All right, somewhere around here is I think this is our YouTube people. We'd like to welcome you today. Glad you're here. And then I want to introduce our guest. So we'll start over here at this table. I'm just going to kind of walk around so you can use the microphone.
That's right. We have returning guests and a guest originally of Allison, and I'm sharing him. It's Trey Cobb. Would you stand, Trey? Trey is a digital marketing expert and consultant now and very freelance. And so if you need that digital marketing and all kinds of design, graphic design, that's his wheelhouse. We're glad to have Trey back. Y'all welcome him. And Kelly Guns. Kelly, I knew Kelly with Group M7. She was there for 5 years as the sales manager and really the account manager for everything. Helped me a lot, got some logos done. And now she's with Foxy Granite, so she's the sales manager over there. Kelly, thank you for coming. And I have as my guest, LaRonda, would you stand? LaRonda Hamilton is a professor of criminal justice at TJC. Smart lady, she can have you arrested. Yeah. She's won so many. I told Dr. Mekki, he knows, she hired her, and Dr. Mekki, and she's won so many Women in Tyler Award, now gotten a recent recognition, and it is
the top for remarkable woman, KBTK.
I'm so glad that she's here today. She's from Texarkana, moved here from Texarkana, but originally from Crockett, Dixie, and she's been here at 6 years and at TJC. She has a daughter that teaches art in Arlington, and we're just so glad to welcome LaRonda.
So if you want LaRonda's business card for help if you get in trouble, just drop by. See, nobody over here, raise your hand if you've got somebody at your table. And do we have any Rotary Club members from other clubs with us today? That's it, okay. Glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Vince. Appreciate that very much. We had for greeters for today signed up was Colby McElwee. Now, he's always good about going around in the flesh with everybody, so he wasn't necessarily standing out the door. But Nedra Allgood did a phenomenal job of holding the fort by herself. Did a great, she has something to correct me on. Okay, what? Nedra, even though there's one E. Okay, I apologize, but I will not make that mistake again. Nedra. Okay, I got it. Anyway, even though I mispronounced it, she still did a great job. Nedra, we thank you for the tempo, the temperature that you set on meeting in. And now for the owner and operator, national radio host, Paul Gleiser.
Today, the 23rd of March, 1775, not many of you folks were there. During a speech before the Second Virginia Convention and speaking against increasingly oppressive British rule, Virginia colonial governor Patrick Henry said, "I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death." There we go. The 24th of March in 1989, in what would turn into both an environmental and public relations disaster, the petroleum tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground in Prince William Sound, Alaska, spilling some 240,000 gallons of crude oil that affected more than 100 miles of coastline. The ship was repaired. It had 2 subsequent owners and 5 subsequent names, and finally retired from service under the name Oriental Nicety. Hello, Oriental Nicety in March of 2012. On the 25th of March, related to our first item, 1774, the British Parliament passed the Boston Port Act, closing the port of Boston, demanding the equivalent of $1 million for the tea that had been dumped into the harbor during the Boston Tea Party of the previous December, intended to bring Massachusetts and by extension the American colonies to their knees. The act had the opposite effect of galvanizing colonial opposition to the British Crown. On the 26th of March, 1953, this is a topic that's near and dear to Rotarians' hearts, American medical researcher Dr. Jonas Salk announced that he had developed a vaccine that was safe and highly effective against the highly transmissible disease polio. After a trial involving 1.3 million American school children the next year, the vaccine was approved and a national inoculation program began. The Salk injectable vaccine, along with the oral vaccine developed by Albert Sabin in 1962, served to eradicate polio in the United States and in most of the developed world. On the 27th of March, 1977, fog and misunderstood radio communications led to a KLM Royal Dutch 747 starting its takeoff roll, while a Pan American World Airways 747 was still on the runway at Tenerife in the Canary Islands. The collision killed 583 people, making it the deadliest accident in aviation history. On the 28th of March, 1979, the pressure valve in unit number 2 at the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, failed to close, releasing radioactive cooling water. Workers misread conflicting data and overrode automatic safety measures that had contained the fault, resulting in a small release of radiation to the surrounding area and severely crippling the nuclear power industry in the United States. On the 29th of March, 1973, the last combat troops departed from Saigon, ending U.S. military action in Vietnam. A little more than 2 years later, remaining U.S. civilian personnel would have to be airlifted out of Saigon in advance of a takeover of that country by communist North Vietnamese troops. And finally, on the 30th of March, 1981, just a bit more than 2 months after having taken the oath of office, President Ronald Reagan was shot in the chest by John Hinckley outside the Washington Hilton Hotel. Reagan left the hospital just 13 days later, worked from the White House residence, and returned to the Oval Office on April 26. Birthdays in the coming week: Elton John on Saturday becomes 76. Motown star Diana Ross turns 79 on Sunday. Any Dirty Dancing fans in the house?
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer Grey, baby, turns 63 on Sunday. Yeah, that hurts, doesn't it? Reba McEntire, country star, turns 68 on Tuesday. And Tyler's very own Earl Campbell turns 68 on Wednesday. And that's this week in history.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it very much. It's one of the best parts of our program every single week. Under Rotary business, Holly would like to get your February volunteer hours. Please email them to her. We keep track of this kind of thing with your volunteer hours, not only here, but various organizations in our community. 5 o'clock somewhere is tonight at Hobby, from 5 to 7. I really urge you people to come out. We had a great turnout last time. We get to know each other even a different kind of a way. Lots of fun, lots of mixing and mingling. And if you have guests or someone that you would like to introduce to Rotary, this is often an excellent opportunity instead of just sitting at a meeting, which we all enjoy, but it's just a whole different atmosphere. I really encourage you to come out for part of that. Starts at 5, Hobbies, and it's going to be upstairs. Tomorrow is our monthly board meeting at the Ultra Federal Credit Union. Now, normally we have this on the 3rd Friday of the month, and as dutiful as I am, I showed up for the board meeting last week, but I was the only one, so I found out we're doing it this week. So we meet at 11:30. I mean, I was dressed up in a suit, had my sack lunch. We meet at 11:30. You can bring your own lunch, and we'll start the meeting promptly at noon, and we do our dead level best to get out by or before 1 o'clock. It's also a good makeup meeting if you need to do a makeup. Reminder to bring your grocery bags to recycle for the East Texas Food Bank Mobile Pantry. And we give thanks to Chris Kirk for this great idea and this wonderful solution to this kind of an issue. Sign-up sheet for our Tyler Rotary Young Citizens Club. Now, this is something we do with distinction, and we've been doing it for over 90 years. It's a wonderful thing. It's where we honor these young kids from the 42 different school districts, 40 different schools in the Smith County area. Banquet volunteers, sign-up sheets being passed around. I hope you will, this is just one of our best things. I hope you'll volunteer and come to be there. We need greeter volunteers. We also need people who could help clean up. There's a chance for you to give volunteer service. This is what we're all about, to be filled. Please see Robert Wells, who's been handling this with some dispatch, or Holly Lewis, with any kinds of questions that you may have. And then a reminder that any club meeting, social, online meeting, or even events will count toward your attendance. Rotary International and District 5830 removed the attendance requirement for membership. That is just astonishing, because I can remember when I first joined decades ago, membership attendance was just a really key factor of your being able to retain Rotary membership. Now, next week's meeting, we will be having Bill Kroom, who will be talking to us in more detail about the historic Tyler home tours. I read something, and something that we've heard, I think, probably in many different venues, is that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I read something last week that made me sort of change my mind about that. And what I had read was that imitation is really not the most sincerest form of flattery, but listening is. That if you give someone their attention and you show that you're focused on them, I've had the experience of talking to people, and then they were always sort of looking around for somebody more important to talk to than me. And, it sort of got under my skin. But when you give somebody their attention, full attention, looking into their eyes, listening to what they have to say, that is the sincerest form of flattery. And I think we all know that in this club in particular, there is someone that we really would like to give our full unbridled attention to. And she's one that helps us to really underscore and get to that plateau of service above self. And I can't think of anybody who would embody that better than our president-elect, Trudy Williams.
Thank you so much. Do I have everyone's unbridled attention?
What's your name again?
My name is Trudy Williams. I am your president-elect, and I'm so happy to be your president-elect. Thank you so much. It is a real honor for me to serve you all in this capacity. I feel very humbled and blessed that I am able to serve in this club this way. To our guests that are here, we're so happy that you're here. We want you to stay. So if you haven't heard about our little rule, and that is that once you've visited 3 times, then you kind of have to become a member. No pressure, but it's kind of the way we do things. So just want to make sure you know that. I am so excited to introduce our guest today, our presenter, Dr. Venugopal Gopalakrishna-Remani. Woo! Woo! Dr. B, say that 5 times fast. How did I do? Did good? Okay. But you don't have to call him that. You can call him Dr. B. So Dr. V is our presenter today, and I actually am very excited to have him because I am in Dr. V's class. So as many of you know, I am getting a master's degree from UT in healthcare administration, and Dr. V is one of my professors. He teaches this class on servant leadership. It's a wonderful class, and I am very thankful that there are classes out there about this. It talks about how you can become a better leader, but it does talk about a lot of things that people think leaders are and what leaders are and what they're not. And believe it or not, I really appreciate the fact that they have put this in the curriculum. So I'm so glad to be in your class. I actually took the exam right before I got here. And I didn't make 100, so we're gonna have to talk about that. I did well, but I didn't get 100, and I don't understand. So anyway, so Dr. V, his primary research interests are in leadership, healthcare operations, green supply chains, social sustainability, and the effect of sustainable supply chain operations on firm performance. Dr. V is published in prestigious journals like Business Strategy and Environmental Scientific Reports in Nature, Information System Frontiers, Organization and Environment, Information and Management, International Journal of Production Economics. So, based on the recommendations by students, he received the Outstanding Faculty Award from the Souls College of Business from the Alpha Chi National College Honor Society in 2016. And the EMBA Most Innovative Educator Award in 2020. And I can understand this award, Most Dedicated Instructor, was awarded in 2022. He believes in continuous improvement and regularly attends teaching workshops conducted by the University of Texas at Tyler and various national and regional conferences. I didn't know this, but he also performs theater acting and is a stand-up comedian. And is yeah, so you're in for a treat. His first movie, Dead on the Set, is set to release soon. And he has been an avid Taekwondo and yoga practitioner for the past several years and is a yoga certified instructor and Taekwondo black belt. Just, don't mess with Dr. V. He's won several teaching, research, and service recognitions. He has won the UT Tyler Research Fellow 2020, UT Tyler Presidential Excellence in Service Award 2020, UT Tyler White Fellowship for Excellence in Teaching Award 2021, Souls College of Business and Technology AP Teaching Award 2020, and he served as Data Analytic Faculty Fellow from 2014 to 2016. He has a book. His book on Great Servant Leadership Made Simple will be available in the near future. And he currently travels around the world speaking and conducting workshops on data analytics and leadership, especially about servant leadership to students and organizations. He is currently offering a new course in servant leadership at UT Tyler to students in this very program. So, wow, I don't think you've left me there, so let's welcome Dr. V. You're welcome.
So I'll cut the jokes to the minimum because I've been given at least 3 ultimatums, that is only 20 minutes. And it was made specifically that after 20 minutes, our president will be standing up. That's a secret you should steal.
You got
talk.
About 28 minutes.
Yeah, or turn the mic closer. Okay, there you go.
So I'll try to stick to the content because when I started preparing for this presentation, it was 65 slides and it ended up in 22 now, and I hope I will be able to finish it on time. So in between I was trying to come up with some jokes, of course. I do stand-up comedy. So I'm going to, if anybody is interested in involving humor in your presentations or in your job or in your life, I'm doing a workshop on how to include humor in your life and in your daily life to the students of UT on April 6th. If you want to have a link to that, I would be happy to send you that. So So again, comedy is actually a practice. You develop that skill very easily. So the first question people ask is what is leadership and how it is different from a management or manager. So manager, as you know, he's actually promoted within the organization. So after you work for some time, what will happen? Somebody will promote you as a manager. Why? Because you know the process already. So you can tell somebody or you can evaluate somebody who has done it, right? That's why you do manager. We promote managers. But leader is a quite different term. If manager and leader are the same, why we call somebody as a leader and why we have a manager? Why we have a CEO and why we have managers to do each department? There is a logic behind it. Actually, leaders stand beyond managerial level. They look at vision. People always say, what is vision? They can foresee the future. If you are going to see only what is happening now, you will stay where you are. So the leaders have a responsibility to go beyond your normal routine and think about the future. That's the difference a leader should be. Then the question comes, then what is the difference between, can a manager be a leader? Of course you can. There are many managers who have that vision and they hopefully become leaders too. So when we talk about leadership, it is about vision, innovation, and motivation. So what is innovation to do with leadership? So when you are a leader, actually you promote innovation. But how do you promote innovation? You promote innovation by letting people and make mistakes. Of course, they have to make mistakes, but the mistakes are not repeated and they come up with new innovative ideas, and that will help the organization to move forward. That exactly is the leadership role. You take calculated risks. Not that you're going to do everything haphazardly, but you are taking that calculated risk. That's why Jeff Bezos is there. That is why Bill Gates is there. That's why Elon Musk is there. But the problem is, when you are too much into leadership, what will happen is that when you leave, your organization crumbles. When Elon Musk has a fever, suddenly the stock price comes down. Right? Have you noticed it? When he has a fever, the whole organization is. But Bill Gates left the organization, nothing happened. Microsoft still exists. So some people have even vision in having a leader in advance. Some people don't have it. So then the question is, leadership is not about simple vision. It is about caring others or helping others to succeed. That is what Simon Sinek says. Your job as a leader is not to do everything. Your job as a leader is to help others succeed in doing what they do. Your job as a leader is not to do everything. Your job as a leader is to help people or help those employees succeed in what they are doing. So why we need a leader? Again, we need a leader because we don't know the future. That's exactly why we need a leader. Because if you are only thinking about today, you are just a manager. You are just managing. When you are thinking about vision, when you are thinking about what is going to happen tomorrow, you are naturally thinking more about leadership. What do leaders do? Of course, they let people do their job. They are not interfering. They are helping people do what they do. And you are not in charge. You are responsible for people in charge. That's very, very important. Many times we forget that we are in charge. No. In servant leadership, power is nothing. Power doesn't value at all. That is the first thing in servant leadership. When Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, MK Gandhi, said to Indians, just quit India, that's only 2 words he said to British. Quit India, we don't want you here. And the whole people followed him because his vision was very, very clear. That's exactly a leader do. He doesn't have to become a great communicator, talk a lot, nothing like that. He should be very clear about what he wants to achieve. And when you are very clear about what you want to achieve, naturally people will follow you. Make sense? That's all it is. It is when you are very clear what you want to achieve, people will naturally follow you. So management is more about processes. Let's look at Henry Ford's and Frederick Taylor's idea about scientific management. It was about process. Okay, you have to have this in place. You have to do it efficiently. You repeat the process again and again, and efficiency is the key. When you're talking about leadership, you are helping people to succeed. That's two different things. When you're managing the processes, you are a manager. When you're helping people to do what they do, you become a leader. Right? That's exactly the difference. So, what do these people like M.K. Gandhi or Martin Luther King or these people have? They have followers. They have people who really followed them. And they translated the vision into reality. Quit India. Finally, you think about a whole lot of people having no weapons in their hand, just followed a person, just said to them, quit India, when other side is having all the arms and ammunitions. How much trust the people had on him? They were ready to give up their lives just because one person said, we can do it. That's the followers' power. That's the vision power. That's the reality they are trying to build into these people. Leadership is a process of social influence which maximizes the effort of others towards achievement of a goal. So again, vision, goal, these things are very, very important in leaders' life. So they know what you're trying to achieve. I want to become number one in certain area. Great. If you are in the top 5, only we will succeed. Great. Then the whole thing, if the people believe you, then the people will follow you. That is the followership comes. So your vision, you should believe first. Again, you should believe first. Your mindset is it possible? If I come up tomorrow to a group of people and say, hey, I want UT Tyler to be the number 1 in the country, I should have, if I'm saying that, people will believe only if it's the reality, it can be a reality, right? From such a school, can it become the number 1 school in the country? It may not be, people will not be able to buy it now. Make sense to you? So that buying into what you have is the key. Whatever you're going to say, it can turn into reality. If you're just blabbering, if you're just telling things, okay, I'm going to turn this organization into $1 billion organization, maybe it's going to work. Why? Because people do not believe it. People do not believe it can be a reality. Only when people believe it is a reality, then only it happens. But if you have small goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, yes, it is possible. So once you prove it, then people do it, then you can extend the goal and so on. It works. So sometimes you have to take attention into reality. Whether these people are going to believe what am I going to say? No, maybe I have to shorten it. I do want to do certain things in certain period of time, and it is more believable. I will keep the joke later because I don't have time. I've been told.
Yeah.
So 2 parts of leadership is leadership part and servant leadership is a servant part and leadership part. What is the leadership part? The leadership part is the visionary part. I know what I want to do with this group of people, where I want to take them. I have that vision in me. That is the visionary part. The second part is the servant part. What is your job? Help them as a servant to achieve that thing. So you have both roles. One as a visionary, you want to see what is going to happen or what you want to take the organization to. And the second part is the servant part. You make them believe it and help them to achieve it. Now your organization achieves great results. And again, it's an influential process. It's not like many people say you can motivate. No. If you come to me and say that you can be a billionaire, I get motivated? No. You can create an environment of motivation where people believe that this is going to happen. Again, people believe it's going to happen. Then it happens. So the assumption is compelling vision to serve. What will happen if you have a vision by yourself is to help a group of people achieve their goals. If your vision is to help a group of people achieve their goals, what will they do? They will follow your vision, right? If you have your own self-interest that you want to become a billionaire, you want to enjoy all the fruits, will the people start following you? No, they can see through it. You tell all the good flowery language to the people, but they can see through you. How will they say to you? Because of your actions. You are taking vacation when your organization is in trouble. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. You remember somebody was taking a vacation few months ago when Texas was under trouble? Then the Disney theme park. Then your values. Again, the values. People say, what is values? Look at the Disney theme park values. They have safety, courtesy, all these things. First thing is safety. I just got to look at those. The four values are the safety, courtesy, the show, and the efficiency. They're simple. That guy said only one simple thing. Keep them happy. That's all that he said. What is the motto of Disney? Keep people happy. Or enjoy so that they can come back again and again and enjoy that happiness. That's all he said. We have theme park, our job is to keep people happy. But he was very particular when he talked about the values. Safety, courtesy, the show, and the efficiency. When he talked about safety is the number one priority. Why he says safety is the number one priority? Because every time you see anything happen in the park, your person who is attending you, if somebody is screaming out there, okay? Somebody screaming out there, they see that something bad is happening. Somebody is attending you to check in. This fellow should run and help them. That is, the safety is the number one priority. So the values itself, you have hundreds of values, but you have to even rank them. Think about that brilliance. He said, safety is the number one value for us. Safety brings happiness, yes. If you think that you are in a safe environment, would you be more happy? Yes. That's what exactly he meant. And that's what exactly he told every employee. Even now, if you go and train in Disney, they will tell you your number one job is to keep people safe. Any rides they are building, its number one priority is keep them safe. So, how are we doing with time? Okay, so the time is ultimately important here. Turning the pyramid down. Again, many people think, if you're organized, what is the role of administrator in a college? If people ask me, their job is not to take care of the students. No, their job is to take care of the faculty and staff. Because if the faculty and staff are happy, they are going to make the students happy and they are going to create the value for the students. If they are keep on focusing on students only, what will happen? The employees will be left behind. So it's the same thing everywhere. Your job is not to the customers. Go and have handshake with every customers in your organization. No, as a CEO, you don't have that role. That role is for the receptionist. Your job is to keep that receptionist is well attended. Your job is that manager is well attended. But many times we think we have to show the respect to them. Because then customers always will be happy because receptionist knows that it is important. Few years ago, again, I've been diverting, but I think United Airlines, or one airline, I don't want to mention the name, one in the country had a problem. They had some rule books, okay? They are always asked to follow the rule. What happens when you are just following the rule? Maybe the customer it will not be the best interest of the customer. The customer was pulled off from the plane, dragged out because the plane was overbooked. You see the reason? The plane was overbooked it is the responsibility of the airlines. Actually, what they did is they dragged down the customer out, and they had to do it because why? The managers insisted that they follow the rule book. Okay, what do you suggest? Had he has some intelligence to do that in a proper way, they have saved millions of dollars in fine. So anytime you have your job as an employee is to take care of customers. For that, they should be given the freedom to take the right action. That freedom comes from where? Your leader takes the responsibility of you. You go and do the right thing, and I am there for you. That's the leadership. That's the leadership about. You are not taking any power. You are just making sure that your employees are taken care of.
Yes.
That's it. every time you think about it, servant leadership is just being a servant. It doesn't mean that you have to be nice always. Was Jesus Christ not nice always? We hear stories where he threw people out of the that church where people were doing illegal or unethical things. He was not nice to everybody. Being nice to everybody is not the right thing. Doing the right thing always, even if somebody is not watching, is the right thing. Is the servant. Being situations, circumstances, these are all different for different people. Can you treat everybody equally? No. Treat people differently. Understand their circumstances. They may be going through something which you don't know. We all go through circumstances, right? Not every day is the same. In a good organization, what will happen? If somebody is going through trouble, another person will come up to you and say, I'm here for you. You take rest. If you see that in your organization, that means you built a servant leadership organization. What are the 7 pillars of servant leadership? Person of character. I'm not going to, it's all well explained. Puts people first. Skilled communicator, compassionate collaborator, foresight, that vision part. Systems thinker. Think as a system. Do not look at one. It's a complicated thing. Well, how it's going to occur? We are going to give raise to one person. What will happen? Others will get disturbed. How are you going to manage it? If you have a right reason to provide somebody a right, incentive, make it clear. This is the reason. This is the reward. This person is reward. That's great. But you are just under the table incentives and rewards and promotions. What will happen after some time? People will try to be what with you. You will start having. That's not collaboration. That's
Resentment.
Yep.
Resentment.
Yep. People will either stop doing their work and start pleasing you. That's what they're going to do, right? When you're having that organization where everything is happening not transparently. Moral authority, walk the talk. If you're going to say something, do it. Otherwise, don't say it, talk. Many people do that mistake. They come up with flowery language, we're going to do this thing, we'll do that thing, and then what will happen? Now, I will talk about a little bit about skilled communicator if I have time. People always think, I have also seen, we have to be compassionate listeners. We have to be empathetic to everybody. May not be true. What will happen if a lot of people a lot of the leaders think that? That's a good one. Actually, it's better than my sound. Okay, that conscious leaders are selfless. I'm not going to elaborate on this because as a time constraint, you have strength, enthusiasm, love, flexibility, long-term orientation, emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence is a big word nowadays. People talk about intelligence and give away the emotion. Now the word emotional intelligence is coming into picture. Then the systems intelligence, how the system works, and the spiritual intelligence. What is that? What is that spiritual intelligence? I rarely hear that part. What is spiritual intelligence? Anybody have a thought about it? What is a spiritual intelligence? You have heard about emotional intelligence. I talked about it about systems intelligence. People really talk about, is it about some beliefs?
Knowing a good bourbon when you see one?
That's
Not the right experience.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Anybody have a different thought? Yes. Walking the talk. Yes, exactly. You have walked the talk. You said a belief in the organization. You walk the talk. You don't just blab about things. Make sense? That's exactly spiritual intelligence is. Then, if you do that, what will happen? People will start following you. If you start believing and following you, what do you become? You become a servant leader right away. That's it. It's nothing like big science behind servant leadership. All the servant leaders had these type of qualities, and these are practicable. These are practicable skills. You can do it in your organization right from now. Just be nice, but do not listen to everybody. Ask everybody to come and give a lecture, about their complaints. If you are not able to do anything with the complaint, why are you hearing? Right? What will happen if somebody is coming to you? You are an empathetic listener. I've seen, you are a listener. What will happen? People will come to your room and start complaining, and you listen, right? You listen and you listen and listen. What do you do about it? Nothing. That leads to another complaint. He listened to me. I told him that day about it, but he did nothing. Have you seen that happening? Mm-hmm. You go and keep on complaining. Some leaders are real good listeners. So what? If you are going to put that effort, then it happens. That is a tool which I'm writing the book on that. What are the things you should not do? People think that, this is the right way of doing it. No. You don't have to listen to everybody unless and until you have a solution with you. Don't listen. Because then you're actually helping to tarnish your image. You will not be walking the talk. You will be just talk. You'll be listening other. I'm sorry for it. I'm sorry. Don't listen. And also negative things, listening the whole day will make your life miserable. Have you seen one of your friends calling you at the middle of the night? I have this problem, that problem. Do you have a solution for that?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a solution? No. Then why are you calling me? Because you're a good listener. Great. Now I'm confused. I'm thinking, what did he just do? Actually, what he or she did is they gave their attention to us. And they are sleeping, and now you are not sleeping.
Yeah.
You are thinking
Thanks.
that, oh my God, this much thing is happening in his world or her world, and your sleep is gone. Never be an empathetic listener to everybody. Unless and until they are coming with a solution in which you can help. Okay? Is there a role for you when you are listening to somebody? Then only listen. Otherwise, don't do that. That 5 minutes is already up. So, again, that sense of trust comes from common values and common beliefs. The whole thing. When I go to Mardi Gras and somebody is speaking text and I will listen, okay, I have somebody very close to you. If you go to Moscow and see somebody speaking in English accent, you believe trust suddenly develops between them. Have you noticed it? Sometimes trust comes from common beliefs, common things. Leadership is, many people think that leadership is born, but it's not true. It's a practicable skill. There are a lot of things you can do to achieve that. So 5 strategic ways a great leader serve is see and shape the future, engage and develop others, reinvent. Am I doing, if you're going to do the same thing, you're going to get the same results. Okay? If you're thinking that if you're going to do the same thing, you're going to get a different result, it may not work. So you have to reinvent yourself, the systems, and the organizational structure. If somebody is not belonging to a culture, let them leave. One spoiled fruit will spoil the whole basket in the long run.
Very good.
Value, results, and relationships, and embody the values. Walk the talk. If you say something, do it. So in Mark 9:35, Jesus says, anyone who wants to be, servant leader, who wants to be the first, must be the very last. So he should go for he should be taking others into consideration first, and he should be served the last. Exactly, that is servant leadership. If you are a leader, go into a meal, you should be served last. You should not go with the plate to the thing and I want to have the first thing. No. Because you have power, you can have it, but you should not be doing it. So this lady, I liked about this. This is actually happening. I saw this interview and saw this clip. I thought that this is very valuable. I'm not going to be a millionaire. That club is already closed. I don't fit in there. Behind those 22 employees there are 22 families, probably 50 kids, and also family members overseas that are in need. That drives me, my business.
Wow.
Is she a servant leader?
Yes. Absolutely.
So, and also create a vulnerable space. What is the vulnerable? People should get the freedom to do mistakes. People should get the freedom to come to talk to you about their mistakes.
Yes.
Otherwise, you are not a servant leader. I have a lot of interviews I'm not going to touch. This is Barbara Bass, who talks about you might know her, most of you know her. And this is Tom Mullins. And I have given the link if you want to watch the interviews of these people, how they think about servant leadership. Feel free to write to me.
Yes.
So I will end this with a joke because I have to tell some joke. So this is a bull and a pheasant. I have 2 minutes, right? 1 minute. Okay, this is a story. This is a story of a bull and a pheasant. So the pheasant wanted to it's a bird. So what he does
Not
actually,
a pheasant.
yeah. So what happened is that this bull, they were friends. The pheasant will pick up the ticks from the bull, and that is a mutually beneficial relationship. One day, the pheasant asked, "I want to go up the top of the tree. Once I used to climb the tree, now I cannot." Bull says, "Eat my crap. You can go up after 1 week." Okay. So, first pheasant didn't believe it. So what happened is that pheasant did try the crab. After 1 day, she could climb to the one branch, and after 7 days, she could reach the top. After reaching the top, she was overwhelmed with joy. She was like, I've reached the top. Suddenly, a farmer from a very far distance saw the pheasant and shot it down. What is the moral of the story? You can have all the crap to reach the top, but you will not stay at the top unless until you have the substance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Venugopal. We have a certificate here for you that we have placed a memorial, an honorarium in your honor for Literacy Council. Thank you very much for your speech.
That was all, Dr. T.
Okay, we come to the Ace of Diamonds. What's the kitty have? Wow, we're getting into some serious questions. I have Dr. V pick the ticket.
Come on, Bill, what, Dr. D?
400, 400.
Or who's got 400?
Jim have it.
All right, Jim. See if you can get the right one. Oh, man. Okay, well then we'll continue on next week. Let us stand now for the four-way test of the things we think, speak, or do. First.
Is it true?
Second.
Is it true?
Third.